need to make sure that the YouTube's going to be muted, otherwise we're going to end up with a nice feedback loop. So very helpful, Defo, use it. Okay, awesome. I'm just going to mute this one over here. Boom. Okay, we're up and running. Okay, I'm going to be trying to go through as much useful stuff with you can today. It's going to be a little bit of a demonstration of what it is and what we do. So those of you who are new to us are going to have a bit of an insider as to what's going on. I also invited a whole load of people who have basically been through some of the free stuff that we've done. And yeah, hopefully we'll get loads of value from it. Right, let's go into present mode, shall we? Switch on. I should finish my cup of tea. Oh, the trouble is if I'm in present mode, I can't see all your comments, which will be nice. Are you running, Ronnie? Do you know where you're like?
I'm going, yeah.
So there's comments there. I wonder, Ronnie, you'll also probably find somewhere, I did a little promo for this earlier in the week and the sign up link will be underneath. So you can probably just sign up and join it that way. It might be possible. If not, I wonder if there's an invite that I can like copyright now. Oh yeah, I'm there. I can see myself like in mute. So we're also running on YouTube. Hi to you on YouTube. If you want to actually comment, and I can probably see both your comments these days. Hey, Voltaire. Mr. Thompson. I don't go by the name Mr. Thompson, though. My name is Rich, and that's all you need to call me by. Yeah. Okay, so lots of wattling and prattling on already. Let's crack on. I'm going to turn my screen sharing on so we can get things up and going. Thank you, Ronnie. Wonderful. I was a little bit late getting ready for this, which is why I'm not free. Okay, so I can't be in present mode. That's just going to have to be the way that it is because right, we're just going to have to do it like this. I'm going to turn my screen sharing on and we're going to get cracking. In fact, let me ask you some poll questions first of all. Let me see what stage are you at? What year are you in? This might be a bit more of a mix. We've had loads and loads of year 13s recently, and I'm expecting most of you probably to be year 13 because you've got your real exams coming up, but there's probably a few, there's lots of AS students doing their exams too. In fact, AS exam 1 is already done, but there's still another exam yet to go. So there's still lots to be done. Loads of people on YouTube as well. I'm waving over there because all the YouTube comments are coming up over there. Okay, most of you have voted. Let's share that with you guys. So 80-20 as a rough split. That's interesting. Okay, more AS students, which is, I mean, maybe you've had your first exam. It's like, I've got some stuff to be learning. Okay, can I ask you any other questions right now? Let's establish right early on. How many of you then are planning on going to university? Be that next year or maybe obviously if you're in year 12, it's not going to happen next year. So I always like to get the votes over 80%. Currently we're stuck on 78. So some more of you need to lift your fingers and click some buttons. No, it needs to be nice and representative. 79, come on guys, it's just clicking a button. There we go, we're nudging over the 80%. Okay, 93% of you going to uni. Okay, sweet, some of you not, maybe going on to do other bigger and better things. Maybe you're gonna go start a business and take over the world. What else can I throw at you whilst we're getting going? No, we're gonna come to that one next. Just out of interest, I've got one more. We can do this one right now. Whilst you're in poll mode, who's had tutoring for any A-level subject? Not just biology, not just any tutoring. It's interesting, always interesting for me to know because like lots and lots of students, it's like in my subject, I'm expecting a number 20 to 40%, something like that. It's a huge number of students who have tutoring these days. Massive, massive, massive need. So we're at 80% dead. That's 33, so third, 2/3. Super interesting, really, really, really interesting. Okay, those of you on YouTube, you're not going to be seeing any of the polls and stuff like that. It's only for those people actually in the web class will me be able to do that. Okay, so stop sharing that. Let's hide all that, go away. Let's start with the screen share. You may have seen this before. How to improve 2 grades without doing more work. And this is not a joke. This is like for realsies. Okay, so how is that possible? I know it's super last minute. We're right at the end of May. If you are watching this, I'll repeat on YouTube at some point, but it's right at the end of May. Half term is just coming up. Who's got half term this week, this current week? So quite a lot of you this week. Okay, and then next week, give me a this week or next week. So a bit of a split. Generally, the country's fairly split right now. It's kind of what we're finding. We've got obviously thousands and thousands of students in the academy, and we get kind of lots of feedback from you guys. Okay, so let's not beat around the bush too much. Who wants to improve 2 grades between now and the exams? Yeah, quite a nice, yeah. Improving your grades, improving your exam technique, decreasing the amount of hours that you have to spend working, reducing your stress as well. Stress is a major player these days, and like there's exams. It all gets big and bubbles up into massive pressure mode, and you're just like, all I want to do is just do my best, and I don't want to have to worry about the rest of it. And obviously everyone wants to get into their first choice university. So one of the phrases, stress is a real right now. Absolutely. I've just recorded a little YouTube video about like managing stress and all that kind of stuff. So you can burn your textbook and join our syndicate, because I mean, who likes the biology textbooks? Who thinks the biology textbooks are really good? Who thinks that they accurately teach you what you need to know? No, they're whack. Whack is probably, they are way too wordy. Okay, what are the problems with the textbook? Tell me what are the issues with the biology textbook? You tell me in the chat. I can see a bit of I can see a little bit of the YouTube chat going on. There's a massive delay with YouTube, so like me waving my hand back and forward now, that's not going to happen over there for like at least a minute. Too vague, too waffly, too much waffle. All I'm seeing is waffle. More waffles than Belgium. Yeah. You're way too much wording. Okay, so they don't teach you necessarily what you need to know for the exam, and that's something that we detest, or I detest anyway. So stay tuned to the end, because if you stay tuned to the end, there's going to be some little bonuses for you guys. So if you stay tuned to the end, basically you're going to have a chance to win some. There's some courses that we're going to give away. There are also some little bonuses that you can give you as well. Also, that we've been hounded for the AS and A2 cheat sheet. And if you stay to the end, we will email it out to you. We'll send you a link. The link will be only valid for today. So you'll only be able to get the YouTube, that cheat sheet, if you attend to the end. And if you open that link today and save those files, you can download them. We'll happily give them to you guys, but we want you to be here and be present and be active and be engaged and all that kind of stuff. So there are lots of bonuses, but you've got to stay right to the end. It's going to end about 6:30. So though the person who's like super engaged and interactive today, there's hundreds of people in the room right now, 188, and the number's just creeping up because students are always late. So be super engaged. It's going to be really hard for me to pick someone. So I want quality engagement as well. I'm looking for really good questions, really good answers. Like, it's going to be really hard for me to pick. But if you guys are watching on YouTube, you find my video somewhere on YouTube and join the live room, because I'm not going to pick anyone from the YouTube chat. Sadly, I've just got way too much information to be handling. Okay, so that's why you should be interacting with us today, and you can win stuff. Okay, so one of the things you can win is I don't want to write a Facebook review today. I've just registered the business at one of the UK office in the UK on Facebook. I put the link on Facebook because it's a nasty, horrible link. But if you go to our TT Facebook page, cheeky little follow doesn't hurt whilst you're there. But that's not the competition today. If you want to keep up to date with some of the other stuff we do, some like last minute revision tips that you might be throwing out there for biology, maths, and chemistry. But you'll see this post from Tailored Tutors. Click the link, and then you can review Tailored Tutors now on Google. Nobody's done it because I only set this up today or yesterday. I think the confirmation came through. So we're going to pick a winner today, right now, at the end of this web class. In an hour and 20 minutes, I'm going to pick someone who's left a Google review. Only do this if you've used the company. I'm not going to pick the best review. I'm going to pick someone at random, and you guys are randomly going to pick them for me. Basically, you're going to see how the process happens. So if you're familiar with Tailored Tutors, you know what we do, and you get a vibe for that, then by all means, send us a review. And we're not going to pick you on what you say, but we're going to pick you on at random. So that's really important to us. So I'm imagining maybe 20 people will do it. So you've maybe got like a 1 in 20 chance of winning a course. We'll give you the all access pass. We'll give you everything. It's worth 300 quid. So it's a pretty decent prize to be winning. I'm just going to, whilst I figure out, I'm going to put my computer on. I'm going to sign out of a few things just so no one disturbs us, because I get lots of phone calls. Okay, so that's one of the competitions. You've got to go to the interesting. You've got to go to the Facebook page. Cheeky follow wouldn't hurt. And then go to that link. You'll find it on the page, and you will then be able to review us on there. It should all be pretty straightforward. Any trouble, then yeah, too late, because I'm going to pick the winner fairly soon. Now, Sky, no. Okay, so we're going to pick the winner later on. Another reason to stay to the end. Who the hell am I? Oh, zooming into no space. So I am basically a biology exam hacker was my background. I was a tutor working with more and more students and getting more and more popular, helping them to basically fine tune their knowledge, especially at this time of year. I was like super duper busy. So I am an A-level biology specialist, more or less. So I got an A in A-level biology. Luckily, there was no A stars to be got when I did my A-levels. I could just cruise my way through to an A. I didn't have to push myself to try and get an A star. I then went to university, did a first-class degree at first-class master, I can't even speak, first-class biology degree at Cardiff. Then I did 10 years basically teaching and then fine-tuning my exam technique. Then they changed the specification and I wrote a course for the new specification. I've literally, that is no joke, 1,000 past papers, at least 1,000 past papers, 100 past papers a year for 10 years easily. And then when I was tutoring at my max rate, I was £200 an hour. So like I was effective. People paid that because I got the results, right? But what I am not the smartest person in the world. I am not the hardest working student in the world by any means. If I can cut a corner somewhere, if I can save myself 20 minutes somewhere, I'm going to do that. I'm very much in your shoes. I know what position you guys are in. I'm not your typical school teacher. I'm quite jokey. I'm quite casual. I am definitely, you can't see the link on Facebook. Interesting. I mean, it should be here. So it's a post and then the link is in the post. You found it? So it definitely is there somewhere. I don't think you have to be a follower of us in order to be able to see it. Try refreshing the page, possibly, is a good shout. I can show, the link is so horrid though, like it's massively. Quick vote, can you see the link or can't you see the link? Because it's unfair if some of you can and some of you can't. You can see it, and does it give you the option to leave a review? Yeah, so I think people are saying that they're finding a way to leave a review. So hunt around. It might, different devices, different aspect ratios. It's all going to just different browsers. It's all going to play differently. I'm sure. Yeah. So you can, if those of you that have found how to do it, shout it out. You get props in the most engaged winner competition if you definitely if you show others how it can be done. Okay, so I'm a little bit different to most of the teachers you're probably going to come across before. And now I'm going to throw another poll open to you. So let's see. I want to get your opinions. I want to know what you find the most difficult with A-level biology. What are the problems with A-level biology? You can tick as many of these as you want. What are the problems that you find super tricky? I did biology, chemistry, geography, history, and general studies. But general studies doesn't count because nobody accepts it. The questions, yes. Chemistry was, for me, chemistry was the hardest because I got biology. I understood it. It made sense to me. I have a good memory. I can just like pull information out of my head and then do answers. It's easier on a laptop. I don't know about on a phone. I didn't actually test it on a phone, but yeah, I'm sure you can find a way to basically find tailored tutors on Google and leave a review. That's the task. I'm sure you're probably resourceful enough. It's only just gone up there, so I don't know how searchable it is right now. Okay, so most of you have voted. We're at 83%. Share those results with everyone. Can you see the results on YouTube? I'm just like looking over here. I don't think YouTube get to see the polls. Okay, so we've got knowing what the exam questions really want. Massive problem. Using the right words to get marks on the exam. There's too much content. So understanding, not a problem so much, and other problems, not so much. Okay, so that is, again, super useful for me to know. Or let me share those results so you can see it. Can you see the shared results on YouTube? YouTube doesn't see the shared results. Putting all the details in keywords. You nailed it there. Is it Aruba? You nailed it. The synoptic essay. I've just written a whole course on the synoptic essay, and that's beside the point. That was basically by popular demand. Okay, so We're about to get cracking with all the biology stuff. If you've got friends you think might find this useful, send out the invites. They can join us at any time. Okay, so A-level biology problems. These are, from my experience, understanding the exam questions, too much content, and using the right words on the exam. So I kind of picked it in advance, but I've done this before, right? So I know what you guys are likely to say. So this is how we can help target all these things to help boost you up those grades in, even though there's a few days, weeks, and hours left until the exam. So understanding the exam questions. So do you guys agree that exam technique for A-level biology especially is really important? Something that I'm going to do next year is I'm going to send out the A-level biology exam to my old professors at university, to my friends in Australia who teach biology over there, to maybe some people in the States. I've got a few biology mates in the States, people doing their PhD in biology. My sister, who's got like first-class degree at Cambridge in natural science, and I'm going to get them to do the exam anonymously, and I'm going to pay someone to mark them, and I know some markers, and mark them just in their own free time, and I'm going to see how well they do. And they won't do very well. They'll get B's and C's, maybe the odd A. They won't get A stars, even though they are awesome, awesome biologists. And that's going to show you that the exam isn't just about being good at biology. The exam is being good at A-level biology, the exam. The exam tests you on how good you are at the exam. And that's why the exam technique is so important. Yeah, ultimately, that's the game we've got to play. We've got to learn those hoops and we've got to jump through them. So that's how we can fine tune our knowledge with the knowledge you've already got to improve your grades. Who's read a question, understood a question, answered a question fairly well, marked it and got like 1 out of 4 because they just haven't quite nibbled the right bits? Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So, and do you want to learn from me? I spend my life basically learning exam technique and how to make it better. So let's throw a question open to you guys. This is a bit smaller. So the reactions involved in photosynthesis are affected by environmental factors. The graph shows the effect of temperature on the rate of photosynthesis in wheat. Okay. What's this question on about? What's this question? What's the topic of this question? Jumping, some of you been here before. Okay, so the question is, explain, is that big enough for you to read? I can keep zooming in. Explain the effect of temperature on the rate of photosynthesis in wheat. So initially, loads of students got this wrong. If you read the examiner's report, you'll see that loads and loads of students started writing about photosynthesis. And really, if we look at the mark scheme here, this is an enzymes question. Increasing temperature, we've got more collisions that have the required activation energy. That's why it increases. We have then the optimum temperature, and then it decreases because it begins to denature because of the shape of the active site. This is an NXL question, but it's the same for everyone. There's just a different style of mark scheme, but the actual points that you need to include are very, very, very similar. It was like a classic for students not being able to see the bigger picture within a question. So how can we tackle that? Well, we've got to really understand the command words, first of all. So these are the most common ones. This is a screen grab from my course, the exam technique part of the course, which is all included in the biology revision kit. So you've got describe and explain the 2 most common A-level biology command words. What's the difference between describe and explain? Oh yeah, you put the link in there. That's a great idea. Oh, Tamana, you'll get massive points in the massive points in the most interactive and the most usefully interactive. That was a great idea, posting the link in there. Okay, so explain, you must give reasons. It's on the screen there in red. In my course, it's all color-coded, so all the important stuff is in red. It's not just like, who finds the textbooks? There's bold everywhere. There's like different colored boxes everywhere. It's like, this is important, this is important. This is like, I don't know, it can't all be important because I know that most of this doesn't come up in the exam. So which bits are important? Okay, so you must give reasons. So whenever I'm reading an explain question in the exam, I just basically cross out explain. In my head, I read to myself, give reasons for, and then I've got the command. I know what I need to do. Describe, we do not give reasons. Yeah, we do not give reasons for doing it, because if you're saying describe the graph goes up, peaks at this, the graph goes down. I don't need a reason, it's a description. You should be able to basically, if imagine someone can't see it, you're describing what the graph literally looks like. So we've also got give, name, state, calculate, and define. Those things are just going to be like, there's no mystery in those. Calculate this. Okay, you might not know how to do it, but you know what the question is asking you to do. So I'm not going to dwell on those. Evaluate. What do we do for evaluate questions? Describing most commonly is like exactly the advantages and disadvantages, the pros and the cons. Typically it's evaluate this experiment or evaluate this statement. And as a result, it's going to be, okay, this was a really good experiment for these reasons. Classically large sample size, they calculated a mean, they did a statistical test, all these kind of things. Why was it good? And then, but if you're not, you're going to get a maximum of 3 out of 4, typically they're 4-mark questions, unless you put in some of the counter side of the argument. So unless you put some of the disadvantages in there. So however, they only tested on female orangutans. They didn't test male orangutans, or they only tested the sick part of the population. They didn't test that drug on healthy people. You've got to find a reason why. You've got to pick a little hole in that investigation, or in terms of that analysis. Maybe it's how much do you evaluate the scientists concluded that this drug had this impact. Evaluate their conclusion. Well, okay, you agree all the data points in the graph that categorically agree with that, and then you've got to say, however, for this, with this drug dose, there were 2 values that were, one was significant, one wasn't significant, or whatever. So you've got to find a way that you've got to find both sides of the argument. Suggest people tend to hate suggest questions. What do you guys think about suggest questions? Generally the worst. Okay, so suggest it's not asking you for crazy knowledge. Students often think that the suggest questions, they need to know stuff that's outside the spec. There's no outside the spec content. It's going to be, given the context of this question, like what's going on here that I have studied? What is this similar to? Is it a lipid? Yeah. Okay, if it's a lipid, then it's going to be fat soluble. If it's small, it will diffuse straight through the phospholipid bilayer. If it's massive, it will probably need a carrier protein to go through. So like, what is it similar to? What are the rules that I can apply in my general world of biology? You're basing like a model. So if it's a protein, it's going to behave like a protein, even if it's a protein you've never heard of before. If it's a carbohydrate, it will behave like a carbohydrate. So it's gonna, okay, stop and think. Take a breath, think what it's similar to, and then apply simple statements that apply to that. And practice is the best. Again, so I'm going to show you how to use the past papers in a minute, but if you know you struggle with suggest questions, open up 10 past papers, Control F, suggest, and do every single suggest question in an hour, and then mark them. And then you're going to see, you're going to start to see the patterns of all that. If you know you struggle with calculate questions, if you know you struggle with a stats test, open up all the past papers. Just do all the calculate questions. That's 1 hour. Sit down, bash it out, do 1 hour, and then do something else. Give yourself a nice, manageable target you can achieve in one way. Okay, so how do I solve this problem for you? Well, I've done, as I said, 1,000 past papers. I have documents where I've compiled all the past papers ever, and I know what they're most likely to ask for each question, because yes, there are variations in it and the exams are all different. However, they ask the same questions in the same ways all of the time. I've built how they ask the questions and how they like the questions to be answered into every video. So every video gives you a tutorial on this topic. You've got the entire AS spec, all the A2 spec, all the practicals, all the maths, all the stats, that's all in there. But I've covered it in the context of, if the questions come up on this in the exam, this is how you answer it. So I've built that into there. So I could run off any of these examples. Magnification, resolution, they only ever ask it one way around, basically, because they can't give you something that's 2 micrometers and ask you to draw it magnified, because you can't possibly measure it like that. So they're always going to give you the image and the magnification and ask you to calculate the size of the object, just because the way the questions must be set up. Protein structure, primary structure, sequence of amino acids, secondary structure, like those questions are the same. They might ask you about collagen. They might ask you about hemoglobin. They might ask you about a protein you've never heard of. But the question on protein structure is the same, no matter how they ask it. Speciation, succession. We might have a look at a little bit at one of those a bit later on. So, savemyexams.co.uk. I don't know that website. I'll have to check it out. Any good? So you've got to understand the command words. If you're not understanding the command words, you can't answer the question most appropriately. There's way too much content to learn and memorize. Okay, well, the textbooks are insane. I don't actually have one with me right now. Mine's on my desk in Canada. But I was looking at transport across membranes. Was like just massive. The AQA and the OCR textbook are like 700 pages long for the AS and A2. Like 700 pages? Like, really? You want me to learn 700 pages? Like, just not happening. Just not happening. Okay, so I've got a question for you. How long would it take you to read a chapter, a full chapter, let's say transport across membrane, something like that, write out all the notes? You've then got to decide which bits you need to write down because you can't just write out 11 pages. I'm going to ask you in a poll, actually. Let's do that. I've got that, I think, as a poll. Oh, I'm still sharing my results, apparently. You can tell me if I'm doing stupid things like that and leaving the poll on screen. Oh, I relaunched poll because I didn't ever ask you. Okay, so the poll is now open. 206 of you to vote. I want it as in, I want, my lips are super dry. I guess it's the weather. My lips have been. Okay, so most of you have voted. It's too late. You've got to be quick on the draw. You've got to be quick on the draw. So of 3 hours or more. And totally agree. I mean, like, how long is it, like, synthesizing all that information? The textbooks make you do loads of work because you've got to, like, is this important? Is this not important? How do I need to write it down? Because I can't write down all of this. Like, okay, so let's close that one. And okay, so how do I solve this problem? Basically, I have stripped out every single bit of fact that you do not need to know. All of my video lessons are a template set of notes. So you only have to write down the things that you need to know. Anything that you don't need to know, if you need to know it to get an A star, it's in the course. If you don't need to know it, then it's not there. It's as slimline as it can possibly be. You just use this. The CGP textbook is the most condensed book that I know out there. Okay, those people have used my course versus the CGP textbook. Like, what do you think's the CGP? What about TT versus CGP? Okay, so again, another poll question for you. How long does it take to watch, I'd say, how many, 3 to 4 probably covers transport across membranes would be an equivalent amount of time. So the videos are 6 to 8 minutes long on average. For those of you who haven't used them before, I want to see what you think in terms of this. So you majority said, okay, most of you have voted. Share that. So the vast majority say about an hour. Okay, so you've gone from majority answer being 3 hours down to majority answer being 1 hour. So it saves you so much time. Like, you just don't have to worry about all that nonsense because you've got me who's gone through all of that nonsense, filtered it, put it in the words that the examiners want you to use, and then recorded a video and explained it to you at the same time. Okay, let's close that poll. Okay, so I said 75%, but this is how, if you don't have my course, not everyone's going to buy it. This is how you can do that. Doing this takes a bit of time, a little bit of skill to get you set up, but the mark schemes tell you exactly what you need to know. As I said, the A-level biology exam teaches you or tests you on how good you are at the A-level biology exam. So the mark schemes are God, basically. Even if it's wrong science, if the mark scheme says it's right, that's the thing we need to say in the exam, because they are the arbiters. They decide, is this a mark, is this not a mark? And we need to know what they are. So you can download all the past papers and all the mark schemes from the old specifications. Typically, this takes quite a long time, you know, physics and maths tutor and all those sites. So you're going to have to go question paper mark scheme, question paper mark scheme. If you have my course, then you'll be able to download all the past papers in one place, or just one folder. Ding, who's used the past paper library? Who's a paid user here who can just go like, I'll have all of the AQA past papers. Boom. Have you used them? Have you downloaded them? Have them on your computer, have them on your device, because then you can do Command F and you can find, if you know you struggle with photosynthesis questions, just search for those key terms, search for photophosphorylation, search for thylakoids, search for all those things, and then you can do all those questions. Ding, ding, ding. I've also put question packs in there by topic, so you can use the question packs by topic, but that's a side point. But if you don't have my course, you can download individually all the past papers, all the mark schemes, and search for them manually. It takes a bit longer, but you can do it on your own. You can, digital search for the key terms. It takes you to where you need to go. Again, if you're struggling with calculate, the suggest, with the evaluate questions, search for those keywords, go through them. That's why it's really important to have them downloaded, not just accessible, but downloaded. You're going to see all the common answers. So you're going to see, if you do 3 questions in a row on speciation and you're seeing the same answer over and over and over, it's like, I've got to know this because it will be the same on my exam. Yes, it will. Of course, it will be the same on your exam, because they can only rephrase that question so many ways. You're going to see which words are in the question. Let me show you this. In fact, it's coming up later. This is my, let's go. Oh no, I'm in the wrong place. Let's go. My A-level biology. I'm just going to pick AQA because it's right there. It's going to go old spec because there's more. Just go to the top for each time. So like key term, the one I've done before, tertiary. Okay, so tertiary structure. Yeah, look at this. Mark scheme, mark scheme, mark scheme, mark scheme, mark scheme, mark scheme, mark scheme. Is tertiary structure a word that's going to be in the question, or is it going to be a word that gets you marks on the exam? Yeah. How would you know that unless you've digitally downloaded all the past papers and done that search? You don't, but I do. Like I know what words are what. And so you can, it's not rocket science, but it does take a little bit of effort to figure out how the ways and means of the exam works. And it's my life, right? I don't do 4 A levels anymore. I did my 4 A levels when I was at school. Now I do one subject and I do it professionally, and it's A-level biology. So you can use them. You can use the mark schemes for all those questions to help build you like perfect template answers. Those of you who've seen the cheat sheet, people want to. This was the last time we opened up the course to everyone. They could use as much as you wanted for the course for a week, which we did back in February. And look at this. These people enrolled in the course 8 days ago, 8 days ago, 8 days ago, 8 days ago, 7 days ago, 4 days ago. This is all of AS biology, topics 1 to 4, half of what you have to study. These people have completed the entire thing in 8 days, or in fact, this person in 21 hours. But that shows you how you've got half term coming up. You've either got it this week or you've got it next week. And like in a full week, you can smash basically the entire course. It's like so condensed. I don't forget how many hours of video it is, but it's getting there. Again, so like you do that past paper search. These are 3 questions. Oh, it's a bit too much zoom. Basically, it's a speciation question. On Caribbean islands, there's almost 150 species of lizard belonging to the genus Anolis. Scientists believe these species evolved from 2 species found on the mainland of the USA. Explain or give reasons how the Caribbean species could have evolved. Changes in ecosystems led to speciation in Southern California. 10,000 years. Boom, 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 dum, 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 dum. Okay, so we've got 3 different questions, 3 different exam papers. Let's just have a look and see what the answers are. Okay, so being careful with my zoom. So we've got geographical isolation. Separate gene pools, no interbreeding. We've got variation due to mutation here, so skip that stage. But look, number 3, variation due to mutation. Different selection pressures, different environmental pressures or different selection pressures. Differential reproductive success. Differential reproductive success leads to a change in allele frequency. Change in allele frequency over many generations. And this is, I think, a different example. Isolation of 2 populations, variation already present due to mutations, different environmental conditions, different selection of different features, different frequency of alleles, separate gene pools or no interbreeding. So same answer, different sequence. Like, this isn't new. This isn't one-off. I could pick a load of them. Do you want to see my lesson that teaches this? Speciation and formation of new species. Again, key terms always in red. All the key terms, the key to A-level biology is key terms. This isn't a secret. They're called key terms for a reason. Okay, so speciation, this is in red. We need to know what this means. We've got the 2 types, allopatric and sympatric, and that, okay, they're different, but there's not really extra stuff to learn. This is how I like condense it down to be as little as possible. Allopatric speciation, geographical isolation, which causes reproductive isolation. So geographical isolation, reproductive isolation. In sympatric, not geographically isolated, but they are reproductively isolated. And I give you the examples that they always ask: morphological, seasonal, behavioral, hybrid sterility. Okay, variation exists in the population due to mutations. Sound familiar? Oh, because it's the same as the mark schemes. Different selection pressures. Examples are all in green, color-coded in my course. Different selection of different phenotypes. Differential reproductive success causes a change in allele frequency over many generations. Done. So, and again, I wrote this using all the mark schemes. That's how I know how to phrase it. And like when you've used the videos and you know how to phrase it in the exam, you can basically use that terminology. You don't have to translate it into exam speak anymore because it's already in exam speak. Okay. And whoop, I'm still missing one. Using the right words. Okay, so that's going to help you use the right words. This is often a huge issue. And this is the one thing you can really tweak in like a week to just nudge the cheat sheets are going to be brilliant for this. Who's used any of the cheat sheets? Okay, so those cheat sheets, you find them useful or not useful? if you stay to the end, I'm going to email you the cheat sheet so you can download. It's going to tweak your language so that you're using the right words in the right order, those key terms. It really is a massive cheat. It's not what you know, it's how you write it down. As I said, I could test my university professor on biology. He teaches degree level across the board. He doesn't just specialize in one thing. He teaches genetics. He teaches ecology, evolution. He teaches biochemistry. They're general. They understand all of it, but they won't get A stars. They won't get A's because they don't know the exam. It's not what you know, it's how you write it down. So this is a question that came up on one of the new spec papers. Maltose is hydrolyzed by the enzyme maltase. Explain or give reasons for, remember, why maltase catalyzes only this reaction. So we've got to understand how to analyze the question, and this is how we do that in A-level biology. You've got to read the question and figure out the command word. I went through the command words with you earlier, so we know what that is now. You need to check how many marks the question is worth. How many marks is it? Like the amount of space that they give you to write. Remember, they've got to cater for people with massive handwriting who get like 4 words per line. So if you get a 4-mark question and like 3/4 of a page of empty writing space, do not be filling it. Students will often think they've just got to keep writing to the end. They haven't thought about, they just write and write and write. The more I write, the better my answer is going to be. Wrong. Massively wrong, error. Yeah, you want to be writing short, concise bullet points that accurately match the mark scheme as close as possible. So what's the command word? How many marks is it? You've got to find the topic of the question. And that, like that first one we did, it looks to be on photosynthesis, but it's an enzymes question. So you need to have that ability to look at the question, figure out where the answer's going, and then actually, what is this question really about? How can I rephrase this question to myself to make it clearer to understand? So you must keep the command word the same. You can't translate an explain question into a describe question because you're going to be going off topic. So the command word's got to stay the same. But if you can rephrase that question so that it's clear in your mind what it is, what the question is actually asking you, you should be able to repeat the question back, even if it's like a paragraph of text and a graph and stuff like that. Before you start answering it, you should be able to repeat the question. What are you trying to achieve in the answer with your eyes closed? Because if you can't do that, your answer is just going to waffle off. You're just going to go way off topic. So you have to have the question in here because you're writing the answers and they come from your brain. And it's a productive skill. So if you don't have the question in here, your answer is not going to be very good. So you've got to work. You can do this in past papers. Work on this in your past papers in the next week or so. So once you've got the question nailed on, clear in your mind, and that doesn't mean just memorize the question. That means get the essence of the question. I don't not care about the specific wording, but you need to be able to distill the essence of the question into something that you can get in your head. Then you're going to do a quick mental brain check, point number 6 down here, of all the key terms that are relevant. Okay, so this is an enzyme question. Okay, tertiary structure, primary structure, active site, disulfide bonds. We've got denature, optimum temperature. You got all of those key terms. Anything that's relevant, you're going to brain through, and then you're going to pick the most important ones, the most relevant to the question. Yeah, so we're going to then pick those ones, and then we're going to prioritize them, put them into the right sort of order, and then we're going to write short sentences. Okay, so 7 to 10 words max. Bullet points. Unless you're being marked on the quality of your written communication for your, those extended answer questions, the ones with the asterisk, or the essay for AQA, unless it's one of those questions, bullet points is the way to go because it makes you think about each point. You shouldn't be writing flowing continuous prose because you need what you've seen the mark schemes. The mark schemes are like bullet point fact. I did an analysis. I think there's less than 5 words per mark on the mark scheme on average. So writing a 30-word sentence isn't the easiest way of hitting that 5. You need to know specifically what you're trying to hit. Every single bullet point has to match the question. And every single bullet point needs to have a key term in it. Yeah? Because you've just done a brainstorm of all those key terms. Oh, I need to be mentioning, protein synthesis. I need to say transcription. Do I need to say transcription and translation, or am I just talking about transcription? You've got to be specific. And then when you've got chance at the end of the exam, reread your answer and see if you can crowbar in, squish in any more key terms. That's going to be the thing that gets you extra marks in when you're proofreading. I said protein synthesis, but I actually meant transcription translation. Okay, so what else have we got? Okay, so let's try it for this question. Maltose is hydrolyzed by the enzyme maltase. Give reasons why maltase catalyzes only this reaction. So the command word give reasons. 3 marks. The topic is enzyme specificity. Let's look at the question. Give reasons why this enzyme catalyzes only this reaction. This is the most common A-level biology question ever. This could be an antibody. It could be a receptor protein. It could be any protein that has a specific shape that it needs to bind onto something, which is basically how proteins work. So we are giving the reasons why a specific enzyme catalyzes a specific substrate. So enzyme specificity. Okay, how do we rephrase the question? We can say using maltase as an example, but maltase, to be honest, isn't that relevant. Give reasons, or give 3 reasons maybe, why enzymes are specific. Which question is easier to answer? The original question or bullet point number 4, my version of the question? Okay, so this takes a little bit of work because we've got to do this mental processing, but this isn't wasted time. This isn't just like twiddling your thumbs, texting in the exam wasted time. This is understanding the critical element of the question. Which one's going to be easy to answer? Which one's going to give a higher answer, a better answer? The one number 4 is, of course. So this is a skill that you have to practice using the past papers. And then we're going to brainstorm key terms. We've got active site, enzyme substrate complex, primary structure, all the rest of it. And then we pick the most important ones. And then we go the active site of maltase. And again, maybe comma there has a specific tertiary structure, full stop. Again, I break it down into finite short sentences. Only maltose, the substrate, again, squeeze in extra key term. The substrate is complementary to the active site, complementary. Only maltose can form an enzyme substrate complex, full stop. Okay, so this was my lesson. I called this the answer to the enzyme question. This is my lesson. I wrote this in 2015 when I was in Bali. I wrote the AS portion of the course when I was in Bali. The tertiary structure of the active site is complementary to the shape of the substrate and forms an enzyme substrate complex. And then the spin-off questions from that are, why does a mutation cause a protein to be non-functional? So we've got a mutation changes the primary structure of the protein, which changes the tertiary structure of the protein, which changes the shape of the active site, which means the substrate is no longer complementary, which means it does not form an enzyme substrate complex. And if it's denatured, it changes the internal bonding, which changes the tertiary structure, which changes the shape of the active site, which means the substrate is not complementary, which means there's no enzyme substrate complex. So again, I wrote this in 2015. Do you want to have a look at a 2017 question? Okay. This is, whoa, that's too much information there. Let's go. Okay, so again, NMO is a disease that leads to damage of nerve cells in the spinal cord. A person with NMO produces anti-AQP4 antibodies that attack only these nerve cells. Explain or give reasons why this antibody only damages these cells. It's 2017 AQA paper. The antibody has a specific tertiary structure. Sound familiar? It has a binding site that's complementary to one antigen. The antigen is only found on these nerve cells. It only forms an antigen-antibody complex with these nerve cells. It's the same question, and I wrote my lesson 2 years before this exam paper was released. Like, that is I know what the questions are going to be. I don't know exactly what the questions are going to be, but I know pretty well what the questions are going to be. So you need to be, what impression do you have of that? Like, does that make sense that you've got to be short bullet points? Each bullet point or nugget, each sentence needs to relate to the question. It needs to have a key term in it. If you're writing 10 lines for a 3-mark question, go back with a blue pen afterwards and think, okay, where are my marks in this? If I've got 10 lines and I've got 3 marks to get, where are my, do this without the mark scheme, first of all. Underline in blue where you think the marks are. And you're going to underline 3 or 4 or 5 things maybe. And then you've got maybe 5 lines with no blue pen. Why did you write them down? You can save yourself time by processing the question a bit more and then answering the question more accurately. That requires knowledge, which you need as well. It is not an easy skill to have, but it's one that you can practice over the next week with past papers. And you're going to see the trends. And then what I do after I've marked it in blue, self-marked it in blue, switch to the mark scheme, and then I actually mark it with the mark scheme in red. And hopefully there's a really nice correlation between your blue and your red. Oh yeah, I thought I was going to get marks for this, this, and this. I got marks for this, this, and this. If not, then you're learning how your answers are not where the mark scheme answers are, and that's a valuable skill in itself. That's a whole nother web class right there. And then add in every single correct answer that is on the mark scheme in green. Add them all in, because next time they might be the answers that you really need. Maybe that was a 6 marker and you got 5 out of 6, but maybe next time it's a 2 marker and it's on the bits that you didn't get. And so that's why it's super important to add those answers in from the mark scheme. Okay, I wonder if I can ask you another poll. I've been doing lots of talking. So that's how I built the course to solve all of your problems. It's the fastest way of getting knowledge and exam technique and all the skills that you need into your head in one go. Okay, so let's go with, this is like information overload. Yeah, who feels like they've learned more in the last hour than they have in the last few weeks at school? The tea's cold, mind you. I have been sitting here for 47 minutes. It's probably not unsurprising that the tea is cold. No, I'm fine. I think I'm good for tea. Okay, so basically, what is it that we offer? Like, I'm going to just take a second just to show you what it is. I mean, like, I'm talking about only the biology right now, but we have a full suite of chemistry calculation videos. The chemistry revision kit goes through guided past papers and how to basically take the information from the mark schemes in chemistry. Don't tell you anything. Ironically, biology, they tell you everything. In chemistry, they don't tell you anything. So the guided past papers in the chemistry calculations course is going to show you how and why the answers are the answers, which was a massive bit of feedback from you guys. The maths revision kit is totally amazing. The disaster prevention course in there is like a few selection of videos.
Who's doing maths?
Who's doing maths? The biology is a full A level.
Nice.
The maths course is killer.
It is.
So yeah, I mean, the disaster prevention course alone is like 28 videos, like starting on, it was Monday this week, so only a couple of days behind. You can access all these videos.
Hello.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually at Ronnie's place at work today. I spent the day visiting Ronnie today, so that's where I'm down here.
Dress. Thank you very much. New dress. Appreciate.
So yeah, the disaster prevention course, basically, she's gone through like 400 past paper questions and selected the 28 questions which are most likely to trip you up and like find a little thing that you need to know for the exam. Even if you've done lots of past papers, you've probably not found these ones. And like, if this comes up in the exam, it's going to tell you how to nail it. Plus, she's gone through all that C3, C4. There's loads of past paper questions in there. It's like super duper handy. Anyway, my course gives you basically the full A level, which is why it's more expensive, because the chemistry kit and the maths kit doesn't cover everything this year. The maths A level is changing. The chemistry course was only put together, with both of them were finalized only recently. So with the biology course, but you guys are all biology students, you get obviously all the AS biology tutorials and all the A2 biology tutorials. So if you have problem topics, you can just go to the course and rip through it and go through everything that you need to go through. In fact, I might show you a little bit of a demo and have a look inside. Should I do that right now? I think it'd be more valuable. Let's go here. So this is where if you want to have a dig around and have a look inside the courses, in fact, you don't need this bit. You can just go to academy.taylortutors.co.uk and you'll come here. If you want, you can also go and just do view kit contents. You can sort of look inside all of these courses and it will take you to here. So let's look in the biology kit. Yeah, all the browsers look totally different. Chrome looks different. Why is it not actually clicking on anything? I don't know what's going on. Oh, it looks like I've got a spinny wheel of doom up here. Okay, it looks like it's probably loading now. Maybe I'll just do it in a new tab. Maybe I'll just do it the old-fashioned way. I can just do this one. Now it's loading. Okay, so it's all example specific. So AQA, AS, and A2. I mean, let's just pick one. It doesn't matter for now. So in here, if you can preview all these videos here. So any video that's on this page that says preview, you can jump in, watch it, take notes, and take like full advantage of it. You can see the whole course. Lipids, we've got transport across membranes, we've got DNA replication, we've got topic 2 cells, there's heaps, there's everything. Everything's in like, and you get how long is the video afterwards. So you can see here, 8 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, 7 minutes, 6 minutes, 6 minutes. So like all nice, like one topic, super condensed. You can pick your topic and just like have at it basically. So all of this is in here. And because people ask me what it covers all the time, it's everything, which is why the biology course is more expensive, because it covers everything. You also get included the practical skills. So all the practicals that you're going to ask you questions about, and how, again, I've taken the exam questions that have been on the practicals and then I've translated what the exam answers are going to be, and I've put that in the course. I don't go through teaching the practical. I say, okay, if you get a question on the potometer, these are the things that they always like you to know. Cut the stem underwater to prevent water getting into the xylem, to stop it breaking the transpiration stream. The maths and stats is a full course. Every calculation you need to do is covered in there. Then there's my exam technique course. I showed you a little preview of that earlier with the command words and all that kind of stuff, how to analyze the questions. That's all in there. The full past paper library, where you can download all of the past papers in one place. Again, save you hours and hours. And, you know, if you want to download 50 past papers, that's 100 documents. Question paper, mark scheme, question paper, mark scheme, question paper, mark scheme. Plus, I've traveled to over 58 countries now, and I spent lots of time traveling overseas, spent more than 5 years backpacking. I'm doing a free web class to any of you guys who want it on that. So that's where you can view stuff. And if you want to come back to this later, this is tailoredtutors.co.uk/exam training, and you can just do view kit contents. Again, if you want to find out what's in that chemistry course, go there, hit view kit contents. You can preview the videos in there. The maths course, if you want to go in there, view kit contents, they are all stellar value. Like the amount of tutoring and covering, a lot of you, 33% of you said that you'd had tutoring. Like this means that you can access our resources 24/7. You can rewatch them as much as you want. You can go back and you can access basically a top exam professional to teach you any topics that you're still struggling with between now and the exams at your beck and call. You can do it 2 o'clock in the morning, as much as you want, Like, if you think how much does a tutor cost these days? How much is a tutor like per hour? 20 to 40. Average for someone who's any good is going to be 30 to 40. There's lots of tutors out there who probably don't know. 50. And as I said, when I finished teaching, when I stopped tutoring one-to-one, I was £200 an hour. Like for 1 hour, you can now buy my entire course for less than that, which is crazy value.
And I write the mark scheme.
Oh yeah, and Ronnie, just so that you know, who's doing maths again. Let me know if you're doing maths. Ronnie, who wrote the maths course here, she writes the mark schemes. That she does the exam on the day when you get the exam. She gets the paper. She writes the answers, and what she says is the answers.
Well, I write. Yeah, well, the answers are the answers. Right?
The answers are the answers. That's
what
true.
I write,
but not in biology, because
no, but in maths.
Yeah.
But what I decide is M1A1, M1A1. Where does M1A1, M1A1 go? So what do you get? Please don't make it too hard. Well, it's what you get the marks for, isn't it? So I put the detail in of you know, like students have to do this to get the mark, and if they do this, and also we write, because we know what you're going to do wrong in advance, so we write backup mark schemes for, like, you know, for example, the students that don't put +C, they're going to lose this mark, etc., etc. Yeah, I'm not writing the exams. If I was writing the exams, I couldn't teach you.
Yeah, she writes the questions. She's not allowed.
My boss writes the exams, and then yeah, I work with him, and I write the mark schemes and manage all the markers and make sure that all the marking is done
from the horse's mouth. Anyway, okay, so that's what it is. And back over here. So yeah, with the biology course, you get all the AS videos, all the A2 videos, you get all the practicals, the maths and the stats, you get all the exam technique course, and you get the past paper library, which is a massive resource just on its own. Like, we don't sell that as a course, but like that is a massive perk of having one of the paid courses with us. Okay, so you may have, who's written a Google review already? Anyone written a Google review? You can paste that link in there again, somebody. That will get you some kudos points. You've done it, wonderful. So people have been able to write a review. Obviously, Jasmine getting just like mental notes. I've seen lots of, I see all the chat. I get to see all the chat. It's just a case of like, you see how fast it goes off my screen. Plus I get a little bit extra information than you do. So it's just like zing, 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 all goes. Okay, you guys are doing a great job. Okay, so also, don't take it from me. I can tell you it's amazing because I know it's amazing. I wrote the course, but I don't expect you to take my word for it. And that's what I was doing over here. I'm just going to play you this just quickly because I think this summarizes students' chat. opinion.
My A2 in biology currently, and I kind of sat there and I looked at my class notes and I couldn't make sense of any of it. Like, I had a Rubisco crown at the top, and then there was a cycle, and there were so many different elements, and I looked at it and I was like, I don't get any of this. And I went to Taylor Tutors. I was like, right, let's just find a video, and I sat and watched the video and made notes, and I binned my class notes.
Interestingly, with the Ultimate Guide available for biology, I now no longer take notes in any of my subjects.
It's literally changed how I've done biology, and I'm doing a lot better now. I've been through the Ultimate Guide with my AS biology. I'll look back on it and I'll be like, why did I write that? I look back on old questions and like, why have I written that? And I'll be like, well, because I didn't have this. For me, it's just kind of like a video source, and it's just like a font of all knowledge for AS biology.
A different way of learning. I mean, learning from videos, you can go over it again and again. Whereas with a tutor, it could be like with a teacher. You go over it and then you may forget it.
I think it's better than a tutor personally. So I mean, although it's not specifically tailored to you, there are enough resources and information there that you can actually, there's literally everything you could possibly need, and actually it works out cheaper than a tutor.
I have tutors and they're £30 an hour, and this is £30 a month. And considering how much I'm watching the videos, how much time I've spent doing it, making notes, it's such good value for money. Like,
it's significantly cheaper than getting a tutor every week.
I wouldn't be able to afford a personal tutor because they are really expensive. I could just about afford the course. But I'm glad I did, because now my biology grades are coming up to where all my other subjects are.
I got a U in my first mock exam. I then got told by my teachers I could not get higher than a D grade for AS years. And I mean, I came out with a B in the end.
It's worthwhile because you only get one shot at A levels. So for the one chance you have, you've got to make the most of it.
Okay, so like, super nice to hear all of those things. Like, I know what you're probably thinking is that it probably isn't going to work for me. It might work for them, but it probably is not going to work for me. And like, I can tell you that if you asked all those students, like, they would have said exactly the same. Like, everyone seems to think, oh, it's too good to be true. It's not worth it for a week. I can show you that graph. You can complete the entire curriculum in a week. You can do. Those of you that have bought it, there are plenty of people in the room who have used it, have like used loads of videos. What do you say? What's your opinion to those students? Like, I can't possibly influence what you're going to write. Like, is it worth it? Is it worth it even though there's a week to go? Yeah, even with a week to go. Well, okay, ultimately, I've got a few questions. I mean, now, when I built this is something I've said to a few of you students before, is like, I had two choices. I could have carried on teaching, I could have carried on tutoring, I could have carried on doing my paper 3 is on the 18th. So you've got 18 days plus the 5, you've got nearly 3 weeks to actually make the most of it. But when I started this, I had two choices. I was either gonna give up my job and do this full time, give it my everything and like commit to it and make it the best possible resource I could, or I could do my full-time job and then do this in a few extra hours on the side of the week. And I decided this could be like game changing for A-level biology. And I figured I could do it. And I figured that it was going to make a massive impact. Last year, no joke, people who completed over 50% of my course, half of them, 50%, went up 2 grades. 17% went up 3 grades. So like, I know that it works. And the rest basically went up 1 grade. Some didn't, but some people didn't complete very much of the course at all. So that was up to them. Now you've basically got 2 choices. You've got 2 to 3 weeks left until the end of your exams, the end of your biology exam. And you can either carry on with your traditional study methods. You can carry on using the textbook and doing all those things, use the tips that I've given you today, and you can carry on about that path. Or you can take a leap of faith. You can give it a crack. It's going to give you the opportunity to get summarizing all the knowledge you've got already and translate it into better marks into the exam. So you told me earlier, in fact, this should be 66%, reduce your workload by 66%, but I've got another poll for you. Okay, so like, where do I find that? This one. Okay, so I put 75%, the numbers you told me were 66%. So if the only thing, and it doesn't, let's say it doesn't improve your grade, let's say it doesn't do anything else. If the only thing that the tailored tutors course does for you in biology, chemistry, and maths is reduce your workload by 75%. So the amount of time you're spent revising to get that knowledge in, reduce it by 75%. Think of what you can use at other times. You can do more past papers. Like, think of the impact that the saved time is going to have on your grade. So time alone, I'm interested. And again, just if only the only thing it does. We're at 60% of you have voted. I need at least 80% before I'm going to move on. The faster you do it, the more information we're going to get to you. Wasted so much time. I waste time all the time. Okay, we're at 70%. Okay, we're over 80%. Okay, so 8416. That's just time saving. Again, the question is if only, share results. Go away, Zoom panel. There we go. Okay, so 8416. Okay, so then again, another question. If all the ultimate guide does is improve your grade by, stop sharing the results, by 2 grades. If that's it doesn't, let's say it doesn't save you any time. Let's say it doesn't do anything else, but the only thing it does is boost you by, let's say, 1 to 2 grades. Yeah, what, like, most of you have voted. You've been much quicker this time around now that you've got the polling, 70%. Okay, higher, not too surprising. So you value your grades more than you value your time, which is very wise, very sensible. And I've got one more question for you. If all the ultimate guide does is basically make that difference, which just gets you into your first choice university, like that's effectively what we're doing right now. I mean, grades effectively in the long term don't really make any difference. The university makes a huge difference. Okay, most of you voted 91 to 9. Interesting. Okay, super nice. So, like, this is effectively, you've got, I'd say, a week of half term where you can make this really effective. You've got like 24-hour support from us, and what we're basically offering students today, you can have 10% off the course, but it's only valid for today until midnight. And it's off the biology revision kit, the chemistry revision kit, or the maths revision kit, all of those, or if you want the all access pass. The all access pass, who's doing biology, chemistry, and maths? Who's doing all of those subjects? So the all access pass basically gives you everything, gives you all the web classes as well. All the web classes are included for free, essentially, in that price, and you're going to get 10% off. So you're going to get basically all that support for all the chemistry kit, all the maths kit, and the all access pass gives you everything. We just say, okay, just have it, just use it. And it's all 10% off today. But when does it expire? When does it expire? Midnight tonight. Exactly. What's the coupon code? I'll send you an email with this. Friend hyphen, don't forget the hyphen because it won't work without the hyphen, 10. So you just can, any of these courses, let's say you go to the biology revision kit. If that's the one you're interested in, you can enroll. It'll take you to the page, and it's pretty obvious. We get questions all the time. I can't see where to add the coupon. Well, it's the big orange button here that says add coupon, and then you go friend hyphen 10. Oh, you have to spell friend right though, because if you put your I before E, although there's more exceptions to that rule. Friend 10, hit apply. It takes off 10%. Oh, it's Friday 10. That's why it didn't work. You can tell I'm an idiot. There we go. Ding. Okay, so that is what I suggest you do is that you're going to need probably a bit of help from mum and dad. So go and have a chat. Go and offer to wash the dishes, offer to clean the car, offer to hoover the house. Like if you can, you can just show them what it is. Go to the page here, go to the Tailored Tutors website, exam training, and show them how much you get. put it in the context. Okay, how much does it cost? I think 80 odd % of you, 90% of you were going to university. How much is university tuition fees per year? £9,250 in England, 9,000 in Wales. So those of you going to university, we often get, it's too expensive. Would be there's so much teaching in there. If you wanted me to tutor you individually for those lessons, you're looking at £5,000 as an absolute starting price, bare minimum. Like, you're getting all of my best teaching for nothing. Basically, if you're going to university and you want to go to your first choice university, as a proportion, £9,250 per year for 3 years is 30 grand, plus food and drink and accommodation, all that kind of stuff. You're looking at 40 grand minimum. And this is £120. Or the maths kit is £89. The chemistry kit is £89. If you want all of them, it's 300. So like, try 6 years. You're going to do vet school or something like that? Absolutely. Like, yeah, and it's even less. 10% off is even less. Okay, so Ronnie, can you tell me how many people have I'll give you another 5 minutes to do the Google review. Okay. We'll close. We're going to count up. We're going to then basically count how many of you, and then we're going to select a winner. If you pay for the biology revision kit, do you get it forever? Good question. The biology revision kit. So if you're an AS student, send us an email, because the biology revision, all of these revision kits are for this year. They're revision kits for the exams, specially built for the exams. So these are valid until the 1st of July, after all the exams, but they're going to disappear. So they're for this year. They're designed for those students who are revising for exams right now. If you're an AS student and you want to continue it for next year, send us a quick email to office@tailoredtutors.co.uk. I can put that in somewhere. I'll just type it in here. office@tailoredtutors.co. So there's been 48. You've got a 1 in 49 chance of reviewing it if you haven't done that already. Office@tailoredtutors.co.uk. And yeah, so send us an email if you're an AS student and you want to continue it through the summer. There are loads of options that we can do that for you. All right, I'm going to have a quick look. I've seen lots of names. Jasmine has been very, very active on the chat and given up lots of advice. So yeah, the email address is there as well. Good idea. So yeah, Tamana was the first person to paste the Google link into the review. That was like very, very on it. Tamana, how useful was that? How useful was that for? So there's the email address if you want it. You can see it over there. If you want to come, the all access pass, ladies and gentlemen, I often get asked, where can we, it's not on, it's new. So the all access pass, to get the all access pass, you can't get it from the Tailored Tutors website. Also, there's a full revision web class series with some of these have been and gone, but there's recordings are all there. The chemistry web class series is all there. The maths revision web class series is all there. So they're basically 30 quid. You're basically paying £30 for one tutoring session, and you get access to free web classes like this with much smaller groups where we get to answer all your questions. So they're not included with the kits, but they're 30 quid and you get like loads and loads of teaching for that. So if you want the all access pass, you just go, it's at academy.co.uk. Tailored tutors. I can't speak today. It's academy.tailoredtutors.co.uk, and then you will see the all access pass is there. That's where that is. It's in a bit of a special place. In the email I'm going to send you an email with all the cheat sheet info. I'm going to send you an email with the coupon. It's valid until midnight. I'm going to do it in the next half an hour as soon as I finish this, and all the information will be there. There'll be links if you want to go. So go and have a chat. Go and speak to them. Parents won't give you money for new, video games or a new pair of jeans. But like, this is kind of important, right? This is education. It's noted. I'm taking. There are how many people are left? 182. So most of you stuck around to the end. Okay, so okay, so it's 6:10. I'm going to pick the engagement winner first. So I'm just going to go. I'm going to go through. There's lots of people going. Can you use the coupon after you've bought it? If you've already bought the course, send Trav an email. I'm sure there's a policy for that. If you've bought it in the last, if you bought it 3 months ago, then the answer is no. But if you If you bought it today, we'll give you that money offer. Right, that's okay. There's a lot of people in here. I'm looking for like, when is my gap year session? Check out academy.taylortutors. Check out the website. It will be on there somewhere. In fact, I'm actually probably about to change the date because I'm going to be on a plane. With some irony, I'm probably not going to be able to make it because I'm going to be traveling. I'm actually going to go to the Galapagos as soon as the exams are over, I think, and go do some scuba diving. Okay, so good luck, everyone. Okay, so just going through some of the chat. There's a good few, loads and loads of names of people who have been engaged. You've been stressing so much. This helps reduce your stress because you know you've got one place you can go and you just have all your information in one place, and the cheat sheets will really help you as well. We're going to send them out to you totally free. Do make sure you download the cheat sheet today. Check that email today because they're in a Dropbox folder that you can download them from, but I'm going to remove them from that Dropbox folder at midnight. So again, the cheat sheets are only going to be available for today. So how many, I think we're going to call it a day on at 6 minutes till. How many reviewers have we got on that Google review? We'll do that one first.
Well, it was 48 a minute ago. I don't know if any more went on. Call it 50.
Okay. So there's been 50. So give me a number between 1 and 10. 23 was the first one. Oh, 23. I'm going to take that. Now, 23 is not between 1 and 10, right? Okay. You weren't listening, were you? 7. Okay, so I'm going to take that. Well, stop. That all ends. I've got my number 7. So I don't want any more. Okay, so I now need no numbers now. No numbers now. Okay, so if you're smart about this, if you left it really early on, you're going to give me a low number. If you left your review just recently, you're going to give me a highish number. So I need a number between 1 and 50.
Yeah, but they don't know how I've ordered it.
Oh, okay. So it's been randomly shuffled in terms of order at the other end. So this is truly random. Okay, so the 7th answer, I got 49, 6, 1, 2, 49 again, 3, 50. I think that was the 7th.
50.
So the 50th. So the 1 and 10 was that I was going to pick the 7th number. As I picked the 7th number from the 1 to the total range.
Emily Mary Rugg.
Rugg? Yeah.
Emily.
Emily Mary Rugg. Are you here, Emily? Are you on YouTube, Emily? Where is Emily?
Even though she did call you Rick.
You call me Rick, apparently. Almost negative marking for calling me Rick. We'll find. Well, we can contact her on. She could be watching us on YouTube because they're seeing this live on YouTube, so it's easily possible that she's done. So you get the all access pass. You're Emily, Elisa. everyone's Emily everyone's Emily now. We'll contact Emily and hook her up with the course. If you are Emily, if you're watching this, save me some time. Just send us a quick email to office@taylortutors and just we can match your ID that you've left the review with to make sure it is you. Cheat sheet will be in the email, which I'm going to send to you as soon as I've finished. So check your email. Check your email by 7 o'clock. Go and have a chat with your folks. All the coupon codes and stuff will be in there. And yeah, remember, the coupon code is valid until midnight. The cheat sheets will be there until midnight. Don't phone me tomorrow and say, oh, the link to the cheat sheet isn't working. The link to the cheat sheet is for you guys right here, right now, not for anybody else. It's a thank you for coming. Okay, and I'm going to go with Tamana as the engagement winner. Because Tamana, you've been there loads and loads and loads and loads. You can see the chat. It's like crazy. I've been keeping a very close eye on it whilst yapping at you for all this time. Tamana was the first person in there to share that Google link to review, so I have you to thank for that. It was a great idea. So Tamana, if you can send us an email, again, send us an email to office@tailoredtutors.co.uk and let us know we'll then match you to your account in the academy, and we'll add those courses to your account. Can you all be winners? Eventually. Yeah, that's the email. Send us an email and we'll hook you up with the courses. Okay, so I can do. What are you guys going to go and do right now? What do you need to go and do? Revision, revise, download the cheat sheet. I need to send the email first. Go buy the thing. Yeah. Who's in? Who's convinced? Who's going to just go and like speak to their mum and dad and be like, okay, yeah, I think this is going to be useful. If any of you buy it today and you're not happy with it in any way tomorrow, and you just like have a look at it in full and you think actually this was dumb, I can tell you that hasn't happened yet this year. There's a completely fair use refund policy. So like if you buy it today and like the day before paper 3, you go, actually, I've used 99% of the course, but I didn't find it very useful. It wasn't working for me. I'd like a refund, please. I'm not going to believe you. Yeah, I'm not stupid. But if you buy it and tomorrow morning, you've had a look at it today or tomorrow and you think, actually, I regret this or whatever. Basically, no one's done that at all, ever. But if you do decide that for any reasons, just email us. If you buy the course today and zip through it overnight and complete 99% of the videos and then email me and say that tomorrow, again, I'm not going to give you your money back. But if you buy the course and there's anything in there you don't like, you don't think is valuable to you, we will let us know and we will just refund you. And I can tell you that, yeah, I can tell you that isn't going to happen. And just to let you know, the GDPR update, we sent out a massive, your inbox will have been flooded with all that data protection. There's been loads of updates that have been going on in the back end, behind the scenes at the platform that we use. They've also just hiked up their IP logging. So I know many of you will use the account from school maybe, or your mum's house and your dad's house. Like our system will log your IP addresses now. And in fact, it's been doing it for a long time, but they've just even improved that metric. So if you're constantly logging in from different places because the account you've given your details to someone else, you're probably going to get kicked out and you're not going to get a refund either because that's against the terms and conditions. Obviously, you need one account for one user. It's super cheap as it is. It's like the amount of value that's in there is insane. So like, don't cheat the system and we'll be nice to you. But yeah, also just be a bit careful that has changed recently, and it's worth making sure that you're not, one of your friends logging in with your log on. They don't want to, you'll both lose access and neither of you will get a refund. If you've got a group of people and if you're 3 people or more, if you're a big group, if you're a group of 3, then you can send us an email, all 3 of you, and we can probably figure something out. But you'd have to all buy it today. So, I mean, it's going to be a bit of a pain to organize, to be honest. Cheat sheets will be emailed to you. I will email it to you, but it will be in your inbox by 7 p.m. In your inbox by 7 p.m. It's too much, Tisha, it's too much for you to pay. Are you going to go to uni? How are you going to afford £40,000 if you can't afford £119? So you get full access, basically. I'm just reading all the questions. Cheat sheets are available on that link until midnight. You can download them until midnight. What's the difference in biology and chemistry? The biology and chemistry, the biology is the full course. Chemistry and maths are revision courses, so they're a little bit pared down. So you don't have like S1 isn't in the maths course, for example. So it's not everything, which is why the maths course and the chemistry course are cheaper. They are also super awesome. Don't cover EdQuest. It's AQA, EdXL, OCR. Okay, Zara, you've got 2 questions. Zara, Q&A me a biology question. I can pull that up. Where's cheat sheet is in your inbox. Okay, anonymous question. How do I compare with Snap Revise? Okay, I'll let the chat answer that one for you. Does it matter if you do OCR for maths? No. Zara, I'm like you. If you're going to ask me a biology question, stick it in the Q&A. Best way to stay focused whilst revising, Imi, I would say, who's seen the stuff we've done on action hours? So write down a single task that you need to do for revision. So that could be, you know, searching all the suggest questions and doing all the suggest questions. And then you can go through all those suggest questions and nail them off. So, but give yourself one single task to do, and then write it down. You must write it down. Set a timer for between 45 minutes and an hour and a half, depending on how good your concentration span is, and then only do that one thing. And then you can write a list at the beginning of the day. Okay, I've got 3 sessions I need to do on biology. These are my top 3 biology priorities. I've got 2 sessions I need to do on maths, and I've got 2 sessions I need to do on chemistry. And you can sit down at your desk, and then it's not a case of what do I need to do every time you sit down. You sit down, it's like, okay, topic number, my highest priority for biology is this thing. And then I'm going to sit down and write the sentence out. I am going to do this. And then you're going to knock it out, and it's going to keep you, the time when you're sitting at your desk then flies by, because you essentially, you're focused on one thing. It's going to make it more memorable, and it's going to make it, you know, when you're not distracted, time just zips by. How to manage time. How to manage time in your exam is doing past papers under timed conditions is really going to help you with that. So if you know you need to set milestones, obviously calculate how many minutes you have per mark. So you know, typically you have 1 minute 20 per mark, something like 10 minute, 1 minute 10, 1 minute 20 per mark. So if that's the case, then you can look at this whole, okay, question 1 point A, B, C, D, 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 this is 15 marks. So I've got maybe 20 minutes, set a time in 20 minutes, and then practice going through that. The course is linear, so you need the AS and A2, so it's all sold together. If you're an AS student, send us an email to office and we can figure you out for something for next year. 9-mark questions. Okay, so similar to the long answer questions, you're going to have to use the cheat sheet. Would be a great idea for that, because you can then get those answers right in the right order for your exam. I can send the cheat sheet link now, actually. I can definitely do that. I'm actually going to have to stop sharing my screen though. And then I can send you the cheat sheet link. In fact, I don't actually have access to that folder right now. Check your email. I can't send you the link, actually. Where's all my comments gone? In fact, I can just turn my screen sharing off now, can't I? Let's do that and just look at my ugly mug. Okay, so the cheat sheet link will be, how many times have I said it? Like, I'm not going to answer that question anymore. 9 markers, bullet points, short answers, get the question clear in your mind, same exam technique analysis that I went through with you on. I think this is going to be it. This is probably my last web class of the year, more than likely. I don't have anything else scheduled, that's for sure. And certainly the last coupon of the year. That's it. If you're on the fence, I mean, it's awesome value at full price. So like, buy it. But if you're going to buy it, you should buy it today, because you can then use it for, you know, another 3 weeks and you're going to get 10% off. Yeah, I don't think we're going to do any more competition when it's before the exams. There is one more competition running, but it's not going to be before the exams. It's basically for those students who've been using it throughout the year. You can submit like your beautiful set of notes, and then you can submit your notes to us, and then we're going to maybe pick the person who's done like the nicest job of creating those template notes. But it's probably a bit late for you to be doing that right now. How not to get tricked by certain questions. Obviously, using that question analysis that I gave you in past papers and being really present for like, what is the topic of this question? The topic of the question and the key terms, the brainstorming the key terms are going to help you zone in on the right part of the answer. Writing in short sentences is going to mean that you are focusing every bullet point to the question and not just writing. If you're writing long, if you're not pausing between sentences, then that's bad technique. You should write a sentence, full stop, next bullet point. Write a sentence, full stop, next bullet point. Respiration, what am I going to do with that? What possible use is that comment respiration? Like, yeah, that's not even a question. What do you do when you have no idea? Buy the course, because then it will you can go through everything in the shortest possible space of time. Limitation and improvement questions. So I'm assuming that's practical skills. Again, search for the keyword investigation. Open up 50 past papers from the past paper library. Search for investigation and go look at how they've looked at every investigation basically ever, and then you'll learn, how do they want me to answer the limitations question? What are the limitations? Well, they didn't do enough repeats. They didn't standardize their recording practices. They didn't calculate a mean. They, all those things are going to be in there. 25 mark essay. I wrote a whole course on the 25 mark essay question. Open the exam, read the the essay questions, pick which one you're probably going to do. Don't have to, but I pick the one I'm going to do. Spend 5 minutes doing an outline, broad plan, answer the exam questions, and then when I get back to the essay, spend another 5 minutes on the plan, and then I write my essay. Action hours, Ted. How to knuckle down and get on with revision instead of just wandering and stalling. Focus. There's all the revision videos and how to use the course videos, like focus, fast learning, focus, associate, repeat, summarize, teach, and test is the best method for that. It's like, give yourself a single task to do every time you sit down at your desk. Do only that, and then once it's done, walk away and change location. On exam day, maybe go through your condensed notes, go through the cheat sheet, and that's probably the best thing to do on exam day or the morning of the night before. Describe the graph questions. Every time you've got a change in gradient on the graph, call that a straight line. Just divide it into straight line sections, and you're describing it. You describe each of those phases. That's what it's looking for. Multiple choice questions, you've got to really know your stuff. Basically, you can't get away from knowing your facts in the multiple choice. Rule out the ones that you can rule out straight away. Often you can just rule 2 of them out off the top of your head. And yeah, they do require really specific knowledge. I'm not going to go on more questions on the essay course. It's 15 quid. Go and buy it, because the essay course is like going to save you like 5 marks. Thank you for today. It was super useful. The past paper library, once you've bought the course, it's on the My Courses page. It's in there. You'll find it, and it'll all be in there. Okay, so just ask yourself, how am I going to feel on results day? Like, on results day, is that extra grade worth £120? I'd say go and speak to your folks. Like, ask them, go and phone your gran and granddad and aunt and uncle and offer to do a few chores. I'm sure you can, like, for the amount of teaching you get, it's super cheap. It's super cheap. You can get all the help in the world. Thank you to all of you for joining us today. What's the coupon code one last time? It's not friend10, is it? Because I'm an idiot. Friday-10. When's it valid until? Midnight, the 25th of May 2018. Frequency of action potentials is in the maths course. How to find out how many cycles there are per minute. I wish it was March. Yeah, you'd have another 3 months to revise to your exam if it was March. The cheat sheet's just biology. That's it from me. Check it. I'm going to go send that email now. So the email with the cheat sheet in it will be arriving with you very shortly. It's going to have the coupon in it. It's going to have the links to the checkout in there. Go and check it out. Go and speak to your mum and dad. It's a bit awkward, but there's a good chance if you demonstrate to them how much you want it and how useful it's going to be, and tell them that if there's anything you don't like about it this time tomorrow, you can just email us and get all your money back, because nobody ever does that, because it's totally amazing. And check out the Facebook reviews. Check out what other students have actually used the course actually say. The competition winners, email us and we'll hook you up with the course. Thank you so much. Good luck with your exams. And it's not about luck when you come down to it. With the right preparation, it's not luck anymore. You can use the knowledge that you've got right now to like analyze those questions, get the most out of what you already know. And if you're struggling with getting content in, then there's only one thing to do. Just get the course. It's going to sort you out. See you soon.